Hey guys, how are you? I'm excited to be here today. I am actually solo today, you guys. I'm so low. I'm not low, I'm just solo. So I'm excited to be here because I am talking about a really interesting topic today. And I really wanted to do this show and talk about this because this is something that I have been looking at for a couple of years now, and I'm getting ready to do some things with it. And so I just wanted to put it out there and kind of see what everybody thought about it. But it is actually an important topic, but very underrated, and that is soft skills. So we're going to be talking about like hard skills versus soft skills. So we're going to get started in just a moment. Share the show, you guys. Share the episode. Make sure you stay tuned because it's going to be an interesting conversation about soft skills and hard skills and why they are so important. Coming right up. It's Boss Radio Live with NJ, your three-dimensional podcast. Baltimore, Maryland. I love my city. Wow. You have to have balance. Mother's Day extravaganza event being held by LUC Lois Button Culver. Come meet me today at the Spirit Center. I want to hear what you have to say. Again, welcome to Boss Radio Live with NJ. I'm your host, NJ, and this is where he is the boss of me. Today, as I said, we're going to be talking about soft skills and soft skills versus hard skills. And for those of you who may be going, what are you talking about? What is that? Because literally, some people have never heard of this. I actually knew what these were, but I had never heard the terminology a few years ago. So I am going to let you in on what soft skills are, and then we're going to talk about it and why it's so important. So that should have gave you a little clue about the soft skills versus hard skills things. But don't worry about it. We're going to get into it in just a moment. But first, guys, a little story time. So I read this story on, and I'm going to butcher the name of this site. So sorry, site. But it's called Eduba. So anyway, uh, one of the soft skills is having humor. So anyhow, I was reading on this site, and so I was reading this story, and I thought it was a great illustration of the importance of having soft skills. So I just wanted to tell you guys a story. So story time. There was a merchant ship that just would not start. It was in the port, stuck in the port, wouldn't start. A lot of expert engineers, other kind of technicians came, tried to get it started, to get it moving. They all failed. Everybody failed. Then the locals suggested a local fisherman, and his name was Peter. He usually fixed like boats around town and things like that. So Peter comes, he comes in with his tools and his overalls, and he starts looking at the engine. And then he pulls out a little teeny hammer and he taps the engine 3 times, and the engine started. The captain was shocked because all of the experts and engineers could not get the engine started. And so he shook his hand, thanked him profusely, and then Peter acknowledged the thank you and the appreciation. He pulled out a piece of paper, not went to a computer and sent the email, but he pulled out a piece of paper and gave him a bill for $6,000 on this rough looking piece of paper. Now, the captain was shocked at the bill. And so now, it wasn't so immediate because his ship was working, right? So he was good to go. So he was hesitant to pay this huge $6,000 bill. And so he says, "Hey, I have an amazing idea," because he did not want to offend Peter. After all, he was recommended by the locals, right? So he says, "I have this idea. How about you break the bill up, break up the charges, give me a itemized bill, and let's see what we can do." So without even thinking about it, Peter took the paper back and put a note on it, and it says tapping with hammer $2, knowing where to tap $5,998, total $6,000. Now that skill, and I know some of you are laughing, but that skill that Peter had for repairing the ship, that piece is the soft skills. I mean, sorry, the hard skills. That's the hard skills. Peter needed to know what he was doing in order to be able to repair the ship. And so he repaired the ship, and then dealing with this bill situation, having the confidence to come in and do the job and not thinking it was too much for him, right? Because some of you can identify with that, thinking that something is too much for you and you can't handle it. But Peter was confident walking in with his little hammer, knowing he could handle the job, even though it was this huge ship and he only fixed little fishing boats. And he came in, he repaired the ship, confidence with confidence, and then he was confident enough to give that bill for that $6,000 for his maybe 5 minutes that he spent doing his job, what he knew how to do. Also, think about the skills he had to have for being in town, having people volunteer him for this, having them refer him. That's a soft skill because that's social skills. Obviously, people knew about him, knew what he did, and he was well thought of, right? So all of those are soft skills. Even the creativity when the person the captain asked to itemize the bill and what he did to show him that his knowledge is what solved his problem, and please pay my whole bill. So I just thought that was an amazing story because hopefully it gives you a quick and dirty idea of what soft skills and hard skills look like. But we're going to talk a little bit more about it anyway. But I thought that was a great story because having that knowledge and that confidence and having people know you and refer you and all of that is not a hard skill. Those are all soft skills. So let's talk a little bit about hard skills. Hard skills are more teachable. These are binary skills, they're more measurable. They actually enable someone to be able to complete some sort of job or project or assignment with knowledge. A lot of times, this is, you can look at hard skills through someone's degrees, through experiences on their job, through certificates that they might have, all of that sort of thing. And so those are the hard skills. Examples are like accounting skills and technical skills. You may have a really technical job where you know how to do something, and it you had to go through either a lot of school or a lot of training to be able to do that. Computer skills is a hard skill. Presentation skills, being able to present in front of people, is a hard skill. Marketing, even, and management. And people don't think management is a skill. Management is a skill, but it can be taught. So it's not, something that cannot be taught, how to properly manage people or your business. And then, of course, like project management. So those are all hard skills. But soft skills are a little different. They are psychological, emotional. They are what allow a person to be able to effectively meet challenges, and not just in their professional life, but also in their personal life. And these are not necessarily tangible or even measurable, but they exist, and you can tell when they're missing. So, some of the top, I guess, like this was done by WHO, the World Health Organization. The top 10 soft skills are like decision making, problem solving, creative thinking, that all encompassing critical thinking thing that people like to put on their resumes. And I'm going to talk a bit about that, because you better be careful when you're putting these soft skills on your resume if you don't actually have them. Effective communication, interpersonal kind of skills, even self awareness and mindfulness, you guys, is a soft skill. Being very self aware and knowing what is happening around you, mindfulness, and empathy, which is a great one. Um, Too many people operating without empathy. Also, even coping with emotions and stress. Soft skill. Is it becoming clear to you guys how important these soft skills are? I mean, it became very clear to me when I think I attended a class, and they just started talking about the soft skills. And I was like, well, what does that term mean? And then when they started naming some of the things, of course, I'd heard of the things like problem solving, decision making. Of course, we've heard of that, but never heard it described as soft skills, and never heard the totality of what soft skills really is. Some big ones that who didn't really call out are like negotiation skills and persuasion skills, which are super important, depending on what kind of job or if you're running a business. These are super important for you. So these skills are really, really important, but yet often underestimated and or taken for granted. And so just wanted to have a conversation about those today, those soft skills that we really underestimate. It's important to really note that employers and even customers, if you're a business owner, even your customer today is really looking for the person they hire, or whether it's an employer hiring you or a customer hiring you to perform services for them. They are really beginning to look at you having these soft skills as opposed to just the hard skills. They want you to have the hard skills. Of course, you need to have hard skills. You need to know how to do whatever they're asking you to do, the technical skills, whatever. But they're starting to look more toward the soft skills, and do you have those? And if here's a little known fact, when you're going for interviews, the first interview is to assess your skill. They have your resume, right? So they have what you say you can do. And sometimes people list, like that critical thinking one is a big one people throw on their resume without thinking about it. But you say you have these skills, this education, whatever it is. And so they definitely want to assess your hard skills. So they're assessing hard skills on that first interview. In that first conversation with a client, they're assessing your hard skills. They're asking you questions, trying to determine, do you really know what you're talking about? Do you really know what you're doing? And once they know and feel comfortable with the fact that you are knowledgeable, you are skilled enough to do whatever it is they want you to do or to perform whatever job it is, the next interview, if you get interview number two, or the next conversation, if you're a business owner, is trying to assess your fitness for the company culture. It's trying to assess your place in office dynamics. Well, are you going to fit in with our office? Will you be, and that's the way a lot of people put it, will you be a good fit for our office? And that's what they're trying to determine. Do they like you? Is basically what they're trying to figure out. Do we like this person enough to bring them in to work with us? Like, that's what we want to know. And so that's what that second interview is all about a lot of times. So just FYI for you guys, making sure, yes, have your hard skills on lock and know that but oh, there I am. I appeared back on screen. Hopefully, I didn't leave you all. But what I wanted to say also is that these are becoming increasingly more important to be really shown to young people as early as possible. Really, it needs to start at home. And I think that is starting to lack. So if you look at, and I don't want to get all political or anything like that, but if you look at a lot of the households from the maybe late 70s through the 80s through the 90s, things started changing, right? There were the like the big drug boom, everything happening there. You had a lot of people started getting hooked on things, a lot of single families, just a lot happening, right? And so as this became more of the norm and happening to more and more people, of course children were left by the wayside. They weren't getting these things kind of that were automatically built in at home. Some of these things are the soft skills, and they kind of learn them from their parents. But somewhere that started lacking. So, really, they are starting to believe, and when I'm saying they, I mean like the school systems, colleges, places like this, they're starting to really believe that these skills are missing from our young people. And this is the reason why they are having so many social, emotional, mental health, and other problems. And so a lot of schools around the world are starting to incorporate soft skills training and programs right in the curriculum in order to help deal with these social kind of problems, which is, I mean, that's amazing. I think that's a great idea. And I definitely think if there's a lack there that, we as the whole village need to take it up. Um, but I think it's important that even if you don't learn this when you're at home, that college, high school is the place where you really need to pick it up before you necessarily hit the work world or say start a business or something. Because once you're there, it gets increasingly more difficult to be able to change your soft skills to better them. It gets increasingly more difficult to improve in your soft skills the older you get, the further along you get. So this is something, we really need to think about and look into possibly making sure we incorporate soft skills at home, making sure they're incorporated in the schools, making sure they're incorporated in college. And definitely, I can say a couple of jobs that I've had have actually had like training programs that have concentrated on soft skills. And I believe that's actually where I first was introduced was through a job. I heard about soft skills. And so that was amazing. That's right on the workplace that they're teaching that. So some jobs are even doing it because they are starting to understand just how important it is. And like I said, a lot of these are taken for granted. So, like for you guys who are looking for jobs, your resume that will get you in the door, but your soft skills is what's going to be or what's going to help translate those hard skills, that knowledge and abilities you have into actual talents. That's going to allow you to be able to determine how to do things, when to do things, the manner in which you do things. That's going to give you empathy and tact and all of that good stuff. I mean, it really, really makes a difference. I remember being on a job, and there was a young man who was very good at his job, very good. And he was just not social. And you come across people like this. Everybody is not social. So if you know you're not social and you just don't want to be social, you don't want to learn the soft skills, that's fine. But then definitely you want to know the jobs for you. You need jobs where you're not dealing with people on a regular basis, or where you have to manage people. And a lot of times, I think a lot of us know we have been on a job with a supervisor who treats people horribly. They have no people management skills. And so this is what's happening when we see that. These people have no soft skills, and nobody has tried to help them correct that along the way. So, that's definitely something to think about. But also, like I said, when you are running a company, these are still important to you. When you're running a company and you have employees, or you're dealing with your clients, or you're dealing with a difficult client or employee, this is when all of this really comes in handy. And just not to go too serious, but this is a really a good note about what is occurring in the world today, right? We were just listening to the fact that there's been shootings where random people are getting shot. The person who just went up on the roof of the building and started shooting on July 4th, I think, for the parade. Those people are dealing with, it may be mental health issues, it may be just feeling alone and whatever, and they may not have any soft skills. And I know it's not always so simple, right? But they may be dealing with the fact that they just don't have those kind of skills. And so a lot of times people like that may get fired from jobs and they lose clients, all that. So it's just something to think about. So I want you guys to really think about your soft skills. What are your soft skills? Are you even aware of your soft skills? Do you know what they are? And do you know how they correlate to your hard skills, even to your job or to your business? Do you know how they help you? So this is good knowledge to have. And one of the things that you can do is a soft skills assessment. So a soft skills assessment can help kind of show you the areas where you may need to improve your soft skills, but they can also show you how you can teach these skills to other people. If they show you your skills, then you know how to teach these to other people as well, because you know what they are and you know what they mean. And so you can look at your team if you're a manager or if you're a business owner and figure out how to translate your soft skills to your employees or to your staff. So it's just something to think about. One of the things that I wanted to leave you guys with is, and I'll put it in the chat, but I'll put it across the screen as well. I thought this was an interesting soft skills assessment. Uh, so um, you guys should go and take it. And I'm laughing because when I'm saying interesting, they actually use kind of like pictures for the soft skill assessment. They use a bit of words, but they use mostly pictures. And so you're basically looking at the picture and picking which one you identify with as you being the most honest. You have to be honest when you do these assessments, right? So I'm going to put this in the chat so that for you guys who are watching this now, so that you can get that. But also, even for the replay, you guys should be able to catch it as well and get that soft skills assessment to be able to really understand how you can improve yourself, improve your team, and how you can know which skills you're strongest in, and how you can teach those to other people to be more positive in the workplace. So we want a more positive workplace. Always want a more positive workplace. And so the more soft skills your team has, the better. So, you guys, this was a short show, but I just wanted to talk about that. And you guys will be hearing a little more from me later about soft skills because I think it's really important and much needed. And even to go a little deeper into the soft skills and how each one can be helpful to you. So, you guys, this has been great. Hopefully, you guys get that link, and I'll show it also here. So, you guys can get that link and go take your soft skills assessment and get a little more information about your particular soft skills and what they mean for you. And I believe they even, because I took the assessment, you guys, I took it too. I believe they even tell you what kind of jobs or things that you may be better at doing with your particular soft skills that you're strong at. But remember this, soft skills can still be teachable, although it is harder to teach soft skills as you get older. So, again, more important to learn them the younger you are. So, if you have teenagers or young kids, really start thinking about soft skills and how you can teach your soft skills to your young people. And so, you know, it's a good thing to do. It's a good thing to have. And especially if that goes towards really reducing these social issues that we see. I mean, come on, people shouldn't be getting in arguments at the workplace. And that's a big one. I've seen literally people in arguments in the workplace, which I've never understood because this is a workplace. This is not, our personal home. Even if you're home, increasing your soft skills, becoming better at your soft skills can actually help you in, like I said, in your personal life. So when you're dealing with whether it's your spouse or your children or even in your other relationships, it can actually help you become a little better at dealing with conflict and stress. So this is important, you all. So definitely take the soft skills assessment. So, you guys, thank you for watching the show. This has been a quick half-hour show. And remember, soft skills can really be the difference between you just surviving out here or thriving. So, until next time, you guys, stay boss.